Okay, so it is day 1 of week 3 for August 2020's reading vlog. This time round, I'm going to change two things. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to be doing intros anymore. They were a lot of fun for me, but they added to the time, so I'm not going to do that anymore. The second thing, I'm going to start checking in every second day. I really have a goal to shorten these videos for you, and I think by checking in every second day, that's really going to help. Today is day 1, it's Sunday. I'll next check in with you on Tuesday to discuss day 2, Monday, as well as day 3, Tuesday, and so on and so forth. So, anyway, now that we've gone to that, let's get on to this reading vlog. So I finished The Gravity of Us today, and I loved this book. I don't know what I'm going to rate it. I need a little more time to sit with it. But I really love this book. I think Phil Stamper did a really good job at writing a really good LGBTIQ plus book. The premise of the book I spoke about last week, but I'll quickly do it again now, is that it revolves around a father and a son, both named Cal. So for the sake of making it easy, we'll call the father Cal Sr. and the son Cal Jr. Cal Sr. is invited to a training camp for NASA, where if he is chosen, he will get to go on one of the NASA ships on this, for this massive big deal kind of thing. But the story itself follows his son, Cal Jr., whose life is uprooted when his mum have to move with his dad to this training camp. But when he's there, he meets another guy, and it turns into a really beautiful story. I loved this. I was falling into a bit of a reading slump by the end of last week, but this book is really, really good. So I'm thinking 5 stars, but don't know yet. But anyway, I read this and I absolutely loved it, and I'll talk more to you about it soon. It is officially now week 3. Ding, 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 starting tomorrow. I'm going to be reading Thunderhead. I have a few tassels here, I'll just move them out of the way. Thunderhead by Neal Shusterman, or Shusterman, one of the two. I honestly don't know which way to pronounce it at the moment. But anyway, this is the second book in, I don't know what the series is even called, but it's the second book after Scythe, and I'm really excited to read this one. Scythe follows a Grim Reaper who ends up recruiting someone to see if they have the potential to turn into a scythe. It ended really well. Can't wait to continue on with the series, so that's that one. I'm also reading this book, which is hard to read there, but this is an ARC, so it's an advanced reader copy, so this is not the title of the book. The title's actually on the spine. There it is. The Stranger Diaries by Ellie Griffiths. This is an adult mystery. It's an adult book. My adult books haven't been going so well lately, but adult mysteries are generally okay for me, so we'll see how we go. And the third and final book that I plan on getting to this week is this one, Pan's Labyrinth. It's rather reflective. This is by Guillermo del Toro and Concilia Funke, I hope, and it's a YA fantasy that deals with fae and fairies, so yay, finally going to read a fae fairy book. So yes, these are the 3 books I am going to get to this week. Now, my next thing I'm going to change is I'm not going to multi-read this week, because I want to see the difference in the experience of multi-reading versus not multi-reading for this month, because all I've done so far is multi-read. So I'm going to read Thunderhead first exclusively. I think I'm going to read it over the course of 3 days. Then I'll move on to The Stranger Diaries, and then I'll move on to Pan's Labyrinth. So I'll be coming back to you tomorrow to talk to you about Thunderhead and how I think that this book is going. But until then, I'll leave that there, and I'll check in with you, not tomorrow, sorry, I'll check in with you guys on Tuesday. Okay, so it is Tuesday, and I have been reading Thunderhead. I'm actually quite far into this book now, so I am 337 pages in, I'm there, which is chapter 32. This has been an interesting read. I will say that Scythe, which is the first book in this series called The Arc of a Scythe, was more intriguing to me, because the first book revolved around 2 apprentices that were chosen by a scythe to take on an apprenticeship to become a scythe. So we learn more about how to become a scythe, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that the second book might do a similar thing. It might have other characters that are taken under a scythe's wing, and they are also taken through an apprenticeship, but this does not happen. So in the first book, we are following Citra and Rowan, who are taken on to be the apprentice scythes. In Thunderhead, book 2, we are still following the journey of Citra and Rowan. Now, I'm going to try not to spoil this too much, because it is the second book in a series, so that's not going to be easy to do. But I will say that I have enjoyed watching their journeys. Particularly, I've enjoyed watching Rowan's journey. Some things happened with Rowan towards the end of book 1, the end of Scythe, that really made me feel like Rowan could go off in a number of different directions, but the one he ended up going down, I really like it. So yeah, I really appreciate that, and I'm enjoying his perspective. As for Citra's perspective, it's been okay. Someone's trying to harm Citra, let's put it that way, and we don't know who it is, and we're trying to work out who it is. But I'm not enjoying it as much. I am enjoying Citra being a scythe. I'm enjoying the way that she's going about doing her job. She does things slightly differently to other scythes. She still keeps within the rules, but she has a slight deviance to the way that other scythes do their job, and I like the way that she goes about doing it. One complaint that I have about this book is that we have a ton of different perspectives, and if you've been following my channel for long enough, you know that I'm not a fan of a ton of different perspectives. The good thing is that for a while, it seemed that all these different perspectives started coming together, and so I could see the point. I could see what Neil Shusterman, there he is, was trying to do, and I did appreciate that, but now I feel like things are headed in a direction that I'm not necessarily going to enjoy, so we'll see how we go with this book. My plan is to finish this book off tomorrow, so yeah, we'll see how we go. But since I'm not going to be checking in with you guys until Thursday, once I finish this book tomorrow, on Thursday, I will be picking up my next book. So I'm quickly going to show that again to you guys. Now, I explained this not yesterday, but last time I spoke to you guys on Sunday, that this is an ARC, an advanced reader copy. So on the front it says Death Lies Between the Lines, but that is not the title of the book, because this is an advanced reader copy. This is just a suggestion of the premise, I guess. The title is actually on the spine. It's called The Stranger Diaries by Ellie Griffiths. So I'm going to start this on Thursday. So when you next see me, I will be wrapping up my thoughts. I'll be wrapping up my thoughts on Thunderhead, as well as discussing the beginning of The Stranger Diaries by Ellie Griffiths. So I'll leave it there, and I'll see you guys again on Thursday. Mwah! Hey guys, so just checking in because I have a mini book haul to show you guys. Some books arrived today, and I thought this would be the best place to put them. First, we have The Indigo Spell by Rochelle Mead. This is the third book in the Bloodline series that I started this month. What If It's Us by Becky Albertelli and Adam Silvera. Adam Silvera is an author that I'm really trying to get into. He's an LGBTIQ+ author. I'm really looking forward to this one. And this is Revenge Wears Prada by Lauren Weisberger. This is the second book in the Devil Wears Prada series, and I'm really excited to get to this one because I loved The Devil Wears Prada so much. I also have 2 books that I've received that I've already read before, but now I have my own copy because my standing copies have either been library copies or copies I've wanted to upgrade. First, we have The Selection by Kiera Cass. This is the first book in the Selection series. While I have had a copy of this book in my bookshelf for quite some time now, as most of you know, I recently acquired the, what I'm calling US version of Mistborn, book number 1, The Final Empire. As much as the mass market paperback will have a ton of nostalgia for me because this is where I first read about this wonderful world, I just love this US edition and was very excited to receive it. This is my mass market paperback of The Well of Ascension, but since I loved the US edition of The Final Empire so much, I went ahead and bought This massive chunker, this is a very heavy book, you guys, but I love the cover. It's so beautiful. The Well of Ascension, the US version. Alright, back to our daily reading vlog. It's Thursday, which means today we are covering days 4 and 5 of this week's reading vlog, and I have a lot of different things to discuss with you guys. Let's start off talking about Thunderhead, because I finished this book yesterday, and I believe, I'm trying to remember, but I believe that I gave this book 4 stars, so I thought that this book was pretty good. I felt like it fit the brief really well, and as far as entertainment level was concerned, I thought that it was okay, so it averaged out to about 4 stars. I don't want to say too much about this book because it would be a spoiler, as I've been saying this week anyway, because it is the second book in a series. But I will say that this book follows a number of different perspectives, which I'm not really a fan of, and yet somehow I end up reading books that have a number of different perspectives, but I made it all the way through, so that says something. I thought that it was average for the first 3 quarters. I had certain expectations going in that did not occur in this book, so Book 1 follows these 2 humans who are taken on as apprentices to do an apprenticeship to become a scythe, and I thought that Book 2 would kind of do the same thing. We would have 2 new apprentices. This did not happen. In this book, we follow the 2 main characters from the first book, in this second book, to see how things are going with them now. As I said, the first 3 quarters was pretty average, but the final quarter was... man, it was such a good ending. Oh my gosh. Neil Shusterman, or Schusterman, I don't know how to say his name. But anyway, I think it's Schusterman, came up with such a really good idea for the end of this book that it has me falling into a trap of wanting to read the final book in the Arc of a Scythe, The Toll. But I'll see how I go. I haven't ordered it yet. It's not officially on my wish list yet. We'll see how we go. But the ending, you guys, was really good. It was worth the first 3 quarters. This book, which this is an arc, so what you have here on the cover is not the title. That is The Stranger Diaries. And this is an adult thriller, I think. Thriller mystery, something like that. And I know that the purpose of any sort of thriller or mystery is the whodunit aspect and the finale of the book where we get the reveal. So I get that, generally speaking, the first 3 quarters are going to be very slow. I didn't go in expecting that, but that's what I got. But I can understand why that's happening. But I do have an issue with the writing style of this. So as you can see, this says part the first, and it is revolving around a character named Claire. Then 83 pages in, we get onto part the second, which is about Harbinger. Then on page 147, we get to part the third, which follows Georgia. My issue with this writing style is that while it is multi-perspective, we get just enough time to follow one perspective, so like 7 or so chapters, and then we completely shift to a completely different perspective for another 7 or 8 chapters, and then we shift again. And this is just something that I'm not really all that comfortable with, because I was reading the first perspective, Claire, and right when I was starting to get used to her, getting really comfortable with her, starting to really appreciate and enjoy her perspective, we're snapped out of that and pushed over to a completely different perspective. And the same thing with Harbinger. I said Harbinger, but it's Harbinger. With Harbinger, right when I'm getting comfortable with her and really enjoying her story, boom, we're pushed over to another perspective again. I don't like that writing style, but I am still intrigued to see how this is going to wrap up. I'm looking forward to seeing who committed... It's a murder that we're following. Who committed the murder, but otherwise, not a fan of the writing style. It's a slow read. It's okay, probably about a 3-star book at this stage, so we'll see how we go. The next time I see you guys will be on Saturday, and I will have finished The Stranger Diaries by Ellie Griffiths, and I will have started Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro and Concelia Funke. I really don't know how to pronounce those names, and I apologize about the glare, and I apologize about the lighting. We're not going to do that again. Anyway, so I'll see you on Saturday when we check in with these books. But until then, letting you guys go, peace, blessings, and so much love, and I'll see you again soon. Mwah. Bye, guys. Okay, so it is Saturday, which means it's time to wrap everything up for this week's reading vlog. Today, I finished The Stranger Diaries by Ellie Griffiths. It's really weird having to show you the spine because it is an advanced reader copy. This book is going to get my first 1-star that I've given in a very long time. I don't remember the last time I gave a book 1 star, but there was really nothing I liked about this book. It's a multi-perspective adult thriller, adult whodunit thriller, and I didn't like the writing style. I didn't like that every perspective lasts for so many chapters and then we switch to another perspective. At least with your standard dual perspective book, the perspectives alternate per chapter. So every first chapter is one perspective and every second chapter is the other. So you get used to that. But with this one, it's like, we start with one perspective, then we fast forward 7 chapters, go to another perspective, fast forward another 7 chapters for the third, fast forward another 7 chapters for the fourth, then fast forward about 4 chapters for the first and 3 chapters for the second, and it was just crazy. The reveal was not good either, and the whole point of a mystery thriller whodunit book is the reveal, and the reveal was just not good. So, this is my first 1-star for a long time, and yeah, I was pretty upset by the time I was done with it because it did feel like a waste of a read to me. I guess I'm glad that I read it so that I know it's just not the book for me. And Ellie Griffiths, this is nothing against Ellie, but she's just not the writer for me, so yeah, just not a fan of this one. My goal was to pick up Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro and Concelia Funke. I finally found out how to pronounce that name. For all of, the half an hour that I read this book before I DNF'd this one. Yeah, I was in a bit of a mood when I finished this one, and then picking up Pan's Labyrinth, I just wasn't in the mood for this book at all, and the more that I read this book, the more I realized this is just not the right time. So I can't sit here and say the writing style was bad, the plot was bad, the character development was terrible. I can't do any of that. It was literally, I was in a mood, I picked this up, and it just wasn't the right book for me to read with the mood that I was in. Unfortunately, this is a library book, so if it was one of my own books, I'd probably try it again at some point, but for now, I'm just going to DNF this book. Because I DNF'd Pan's Labyrinth, rather than adding another book to my TBR, I just picked up the next book that I was going to start next week. It's just I'm going to read less pages so that I can, still kind of stick with the schedule. Anyway, I picked up History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, and you guys, I have this record where whenever I DNF a book, the book that I replace it with is amazing, and it's continuing because this book is really good. It's a really emotional read. It is dual perspective. We are dealing with past and present, where a boy who I've forgotten his name, Griffin's ex-boyfriend Leon has passed away, and so we are dealing with the present timeline of him dealing with Leon's death, but also his past perspective, showing us how he met Leon and how things went in their relationship. It is an extremely emotional read, but I do love this book. I can see what people are saying about the difference between Adam Silvera's fantasy book, Infinity Sun, and his contemporary, History Is All You Left Me. Very big difference. I love this book. I haven't cried yet, but There are people out there who have said that they've cried multiple times while reading this book, so we'll see if I do, but yeah, it has a very special place in my heart already, and I'm only like 69 pages in, so not that far at all. But yeah, Adam Silvera, he just, he knows how to write these types of things, and I really do appreciate that. So I will be continuing on with this next week, and you'll be able to see on Monday how I'm going with this book. But the books that I spoke about in today's vlog were History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro and Concilia Funke, and The Stranger Diaries, 1 star by Ellie Griffiths. That is all the time we have for this week, so thank you so very much for watching. If you have any comments, thoughts and or questions, please do not hesitate to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you again very soon, letting you go with peace, blessings and so much love. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday, and I'll see you again next week. Mwah! Happy reading! Bye guys! Bye!